Shalom. I want to start off by saying Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth, and who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the Akim that is spread around the four corners of the earth, spreading this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Gone. So I'm the brother Quatazab Sayan, coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai with another lesson, with another video. And Lord willing, this video is edifying. Gone. So it's that time again, man. Jake, which Jake is how we call our people, because we are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So Jake is Jacob for short. We are the children of Jacob, which Jacob, his name was changed into Israel. So we are the Hebrew Israelites. We have been gunned down constantly in America, and yet one time again it's been televised how this 27-year-old so-called black man who was armed, let me read this. The Philadelphia police on Monday fatally shot a 27-year-old black man, so-called black man, who they said was armed with a knife, touching off protests and violent clashes hours later, in which the authorities said more than 24 officers were injured. Gone. So, because this 27-year-old so-called black man who was wielding a knife, I mind you, he was shot 14 times, I believe, seven shots per police officer. So there were two police officers, one shot him 7 times, the other one shot him 7 times, and he was only wielding a knife. So you can see the hatred that these so-called white people have towards the so-called black people, because their biblical name is not white. They're not white. They're Edomites, because they're descendants of Esau. And we are not black. We are so-called black. That's what they call us. But we are the Hebrew Israelites. You see? And they hate us so much that when we are wielding a knife, that they gotta shoot us 14 times. But with these other nations, they don't do that. They don't shoot these other nations 17 times if they commit a crime or if they have a weapon. And let alone themselves, if they have themselves, if a white man, so-called white man, is going to arrest a so-called white man, he would let himself get shot and stabbed before he shoots that offender. Let me see if I can find a video. Because the video was on CNN. Bear with me for a second.
The video does not show what brought a San Bernardino police officer to King Tut Liquor just before 11:30 Thursday night, but it does show the officer trying to restrain the 6'3", 300-pound man. We slowed the video to show you the man reaching for something in his waistband. Police say it was a gun. The officer scrambled to get up, grabs his own gun, and fires multiple times.
Go on, bear with me for a second. Philadelphia police arrest 91 people during violent riots after shooting of armed black men. 30 cops hurt. Oh, what a pity. You see, armed black men, they don't say with a knife. They want to make him seem more dangerous than that he was. Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. Slakia. Bear with me for a second.
It happened
so
at
that's where they freeze
61st and
it,
Low.
so you don't literally see him getting shot, but you heard the shots. It was 14 times, 7 times per cop. But yeah, man, let me go into the scriptures and let the scripture speak, because the scripture is going to explain why this is. This Ezekiel 35 verse 5, because thou hast a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. You see? So let me read it again. This is Ezekiel 35 and 5. Because thou hast a perpetual hatred, and if you go into that word perpetual, let's go into the Atom Online. Which the word atom means the root of the word, and ology means the study thereof, the study of the root of the word. Let's see, perpetual, and it's mid 14th century. Perpetual, everlasting, unceasing, existing indefinitely, continuing forever in future time, uninterrupted, continuous. You see, so you can't interrupt the hating that this so-called white man, this Edomite, does towards our people, towards the children of Israel. You can't interrupt him, you can't stop him. Without end, continuous, you see, because it's manifested in their soul, it's sunk deep in their soul that they have this perpetual hatred since their forefather Esau has lost the blessing. That's when this hatred was rooted in. It's rooted in his DNA. Just like how in some studies they say that Jake, which is the so-called black man, which is the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are the nation of Israel. We are the children of Jacob. That they said that the so-called hatred for the white man is rooted in our DNA since the days of slavery. In the same way, this so-called white man, his forefather Esau, has a supreme hatred in himself, and that trickled down to his children, man. So these Edomites have a uninterrupted, continuously, without end hatred towards the children of Israel, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. And what's the modern day sword? The gun. It's a weapon of destruction. You see, back in the day, it would be a sword, it would be a knife, but the modern day sword is also a gun. In the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Gun, and the word iniquity means sin upon sin. So now we are trying to get back to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and they're gunning us down left and right because they know they have but a short time. They're getting the orders from the higher ups to shoot also called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans if they don't want to come and cooperate and go into jail. You see? But also, as the scripture says right here, in their in their soul, they have a perpetual hatred towards us and also a fear. So that's why they're shooting us, you know. Let's go to the book of Zechariah. 1, verse 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. You see? So this is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai speaking. Let me read the verse above. So the angel, this is Zechariah 1 and 14. So the angel that communed with me said unto me, Cry thou, saying, Thus said Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion, which with a great jealousy, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. You see, these heathens, which the word heathen goes into other nations, these other nations that are not of Israel, they're at ease. You know, they have swallowed us up. They have made and spoiled Jacob low to the ground, you know. So they have us right now in a submissive position that they can just gun us down and nothing's gonna happen. You know, they're not gonna lose their lives. They're not gonna go in jail. Oh, the officer is just gonna get fired, and that's it. But yeah, man. So you see, the Most High, He is sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. For I was a little displeased at His apple of His eye, which is the children of Israel, which is the chosen bloodline. He was a little bit displeased, but they forward the affliction. So they were just greedy. They're like, oh, the Most High is displeased with him. Let's get him. Let's round him up. Let's do what the hell we want with him, you know. But Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, He's got something for these heathen, man. Because the Most High, He's a jealous power. This is Nahum 1 verse 2. Yahweh is jealous, and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious. You see, so I don't know what these Christians are talking about with God is all love, and that he's all you know, He knows your heart, and that you can do what you want to do. You know, no. Yahweh is jealous, and the Lord revengeth, and the Lord revengeth and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on His adversaries, and He reserveth wrath for His enemies. And who are His enemies? His enemies are the enemies of Yahushai. His enemies are the enemies of the followers of Yahushai. You know, because we keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and we walk in the footpaths, in the footsteps of Yahushai, you know, leading to everlasting life. And if you are against the followers of His Son, if you are against the nation of Israel that's trying to live righteous, then Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai is going to bring wrath upon you. He's going to bring His wrath upon you, you know. But that's what's going to happen. Let's go to the book of Obadiah. Obadiah 1, verse 10. This is Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Go on, let me read again. Obadiah 1 verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. God. You see? So this is going to be the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because Obadiah is a prophecy. The book of Obadiah is a prophecy against Esau, Edom. You see? So Esau is going to be cut off forever because of the violence. You just saw the violence that he has against the so-called blacks. You see? He's wielding a knife, and you have a flesh-piercing gun, you know. You can just give him a warning shot, or just a shot through his foot or something, you know, not something fatal. But you forward the affliction, and forwarding the affliction is mainly speaking about the slavery, but still up until this day, you know, we are being afflicted and oppressed. But the forwarding of the affliction is talking about he took us, he grabbed us up and shipped us all over and scattered us all over the earth, and especially in the Americas and in the islands. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 47, verse 6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. You see, this is the yoke. The yoke means slavery. Yoke means bondage. You see? So Yahweh is speaking here. He was wroth with his people. He was mad at the children of Israel. He was mad at the apple of his eye. He has polluted his inheritance and given them into thine hand. You see, because the hands of men are the sword. Let me see if I can find it. Jaratazah. Because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he's not himself gonna take a whooping stick or slap us with the hand, you know, he's gonna crush us. But he uses men to accomplish his will. Gone. So this is Psalm 17, verse 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. You see? So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai uses the wicked to correct the righteous. He uses the wicked to correct his people, you know, because they are the sword. And Esau has that sword. Esau has that modern day sword, which is the gun. That's his blessing. You always see him posing with guns. You always see him walking with his weapons on the street, you know, where it's possible, you know, because they have a gun, open gun or open carry permit, you know, stuff like that. So that's his gun, that's his blessing, that's his sword. But we run into the fortress of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to be safe, because we don't fight, but the Most High is gonna fight for us. Gone. Psalms 17 and 14. From men which are thy hand. See what I was speaking about. Because we, Yahweh, are the men of the Lord, and we don't speak our own words, but we speak the words of the Bible unto you, so that you can get a better understanding. From men which are thy sword, O Yahweh, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasures. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. And speaking about Esau, man, Esau, when he conquers something, he fills his belly, and he leaves his substance to his babes. He leaves it to his children and his grandchildren. You know, these people, they got old money to burn, slavery money. That's what they got. Gone. So I was wrought. This is Isaiah 47 verse 6 again. I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy, upon the ancient have thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Gone. So Esau didn't show no mercy, and the Most High is not going to show mercy unto Esau neither. Go to the book of Psalms 37. God, this is a beautiful one. This is Psalms 37, verse 12. The wicked plotted against the just and gnashed upon him with his teeth. Gone. The wicked, Esau, plotted against the just, which is Jacob, and gnashed upon him with the teeth. He's grinding Jake like, like he's nothing. He gnashed on him with his teeth. But this is the point. Verse 13. Yahweh shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he's laughing at him because he's making his sins reach upon unto the heavens, and then he's gonna come with full force on these heathens, and especially the so-called white man, for the perpetual hatred that he has against us, for the forwarding of the affliction, for slandering his mother's son, And let me go to that scripture. Slander. This is Psalms 50, verse 20. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Gone. So, this is speaking about how you have Jacob and Esau. Jacob is the brother of Esau, and Esau is the brother of Jacob. They were born twins, but in the womb of Rebekah, they were separated. So that's why this speaks about how thou slanderest thine own mother's son. See? So, the so-called white man, Esau, is always slandering our name. He's like, he was heavily armed. He was, they're constantly lying on us. They're constantly demonizing us. They're constantly, let's see what that word slander means. Falsely accusing. That's what Esau is. Slander, late 13th century. State of impaired reputation, disgrace or dishonor, a false tale, you see? Lying. Disgrace and dishonoring. They're dishonoring their mother's son. They're dishonoring us. They're dishonoring the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You see, because the Native Americans, they were the first ones to own America. And these so-called nowadays modern Americans, they are Europeans, man, that came over there and took over the land by rape, by force and rape, rob and murder. So not only the so-called blacks are being oppressed, but the Native Americans also, which are our brothers from the northern tribe, and we are from the southern tribe. See? Gone. So, Lord willing, I hope this video is edifying, and I want to say Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Basham Reka Kodash, Shalom Akim.